Good morning, everyone. Hope your Wednesday's off to a good start, and hopefully you weren't too cold as you went out the door, because it was our first morning where we got temperatures widespread to be cold enough to get into frost territory. And we're looking to likely do that again tonight as well. Welcome to fall. We're really into that mode as we head through the next 24 hours. We're going to be experiencing another morning where we get those temps down to that level. We'll talk just how cold we get and if we're going to be seeing more chances for frosts or even freeze conditions to take place as we go through this forecast. Also, I want to give you a first look to what to expect for the weekend as you start to look ahead to what plans you have, if things will cooperate from a weather standpoint. Let's first start off with this morning, though, and just how far we saw our temps drop. And some of us did end up into freeze territory. You can see Norfolk had a low of 27, 29 in Columbus. We were at 28 in Tacoma. We saw plenty of 30s, though, for much of the rest of the area. 35 was the official low in Omaha. Epley is what that is registered as. So a couple of spots around the metro may have been just a little bit colder than that. So definitely frost territory. And as we have gone through the last few hours, we have started to see the temperatures step up from that. So here's where we're at. We get the clear sky and start getting the sunshine overhead that can warm our temps in a hurry, and we're up to 46 degrees. Notice that dew point in the 30s, so that's a sign of very dry air. And when you have that dry air in place, that will change in the temperature very quickly. So you get the daylight, you'll go up pretty quickly. You lose that sunlight, you'll go down pretty quickly. And that's exactly what we've seen over the last 24 hours. As soon as we went past sundown, we started to cool off in a hurry, and we've seen our quick recovery today. We will have a bit of a breeze. Notice that we do have that showing up out of the south at about 7 miles per hour. We could get some gusts that are around 20 miles per hour, but that's about half of what we were seeing yesterday. It is going to be a much more pleasant day in that regard. And overall, you can see how the recovery goes today. We go from those 40s that we have right now up to the mid 60s for our high with less wind and sunshine. This is going to be a really nice afternoon to get outdoors, take advantage of that. And then notice what happens when we lose the daylight. As I was just saying, dry air cools quick, and by the time we're getting toward 9, 10 o'clock, we're already well into the 40s on our way to another morning that ends up in the 30s. So still have our first alerts, 6 weather day coverage going, just with the frosty start that we had this morning. Do make sure you uncover your plants. When you warm up, you have that sunshine. If they're still covered, that can actually burn your plants if you don't uncover them. So make sure you do that here over the next hour or two. We'll be warming temps up into the 60s, so you don't want to have it to where you went through the work to protect them overnight with the frost, and then you end up damaging them by leaving that on and burning them. However, you're also going to have to recover them because, as I mentioned, we'll cool quickly tonight, and we'll get those temps right back into frost territory by tomorrow morning. So you'll need to recover those plants that you want to keep for tonight. Now, the good news is we are only looking at this being a problem again tonight. We'll be looking at warmer temperatures going forward. Let me back up here. But we do have that frost advisory in place for most of the area, and then a few counties off to the north of the metro are again in that freeze warning. That includes the towns of Harlan, Tacoma, over toward West Point, and Stanton, all included in that freeze warning, as well as the Missouri Valley area. So if you're anywhere along that line, you want to make sure that you're maybe bringing the plants indoors if you can do that. Everyone else, you just need to cover your plants. And this is still just a plant-related hazard we're talking about. You don't need to get the sprinklers blown out or anything like that. We won't be getting that cold. But here's what to expect temperature-wise. We go through the day. You can see the warming continuing. Again, up into the mid-60s for our highs. Very pleasant, not nearly as windy as yesterday. And then as we get into those evening hours, you'll see the effect of losing that daylight taking place in real time as we go forward. And even by 10 o'clock, we're already looking at a lot of us in the 40s. North of the metro, we're talking low 40s at that point. And you just continue to see the cooling take place. And by the time we get into our morning, there we are, back into the mid-30s for our temps. And if you're north of the metro, you're right near that freezing mark. So there's where our frost comes into play. So again, make sure you recover the plants this evening before you go to bed so that they'll be in good shape to handle that. Now, once we get past this morning, we are going to be looking at things warmer for our lows. And thought I had that graphic ready to go. Let's see here. There's the high temperatures. But I can tell you after tonight, we do not have to be too concerned about any kind of frost here for a little bit. So I'll show you those exact temperatures here in just a moment. So we'll get to that. Sorry, I don't have that right away for you, but let me show you what we do have for the weekend. You're starting to think ahead to what to expect. Let me show you that weekend forecast. And it is generally going to be a rather gray weekend that we have. Let me show you that right here. So, a lot of cloud cover. We'll keep the sunshine into tomorrow, but by Friday, the clouds start to surge in. That 61 that you see actually takes place about middle of the day to early afternoon. Will cool as those clouds really take over. Could get a shower or two in the afternoon on Friday, particularly if you are south of the metro. And then keeping the clouds strong for Saturday and Sunday. We'll have the chance to get a couple of pockets of drizzle from time to time, particularly early Saturday and then again on Sunday. So keep that in mind. A little more wind by the time we get to Sunday as well. Now let's look at that Husker forecast. And you can see by the time we get to 11 a.m., we still have the clouds firmly in place. We should be dry, though, as we're getting things underway. It's the morning that we are looking at. So maybe as you're trying to do any kind of tailgating out ahead of that game, you may have to deal with some pockets of drizzle that are around. We should be wrapping that up right around the time kickoff is happening. And we'll be pretty close to 60 degrees throughout that entire game. Not much motion in those temps. So jacket would be a good idea if you're heading to that one, but you should be able to stay dry without too much of an issue. And really, it's kind of the similar case for the other games that we've got going on there in Ames and in Iowa City. That's a big game for Iowa State. They're hosting the ranked BYU Cougars. That's in the mid-50s, though. It'll be pretty chilly for that one. Plenty of cloud cover. And then Iowa playing host to Minnesota, and that also looks like mid to upper 50s with maybe a small chance of a shower. Those two games kick off at 2:30. All right, let me show you that 10-day now, and you can see what I meant by the lows being warmer after tonight. So still looking at widespread frost, possible by the morning. We're in the mid-30s. As we get into the afternoon, there's the mid-60s again for Thursday with sunshine. The clouds expand as we get into Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Those will be present. That keeps our daytime temperatures lower, but it also keeps us from dropping off as far at night. So that will be an element for us. We do get some rain chances increasing. I think Monday is the day we have the best chance of having showers move through. It'll also be windy, have some gusts 30, 35 miles per hour there. And then may have a few showers lingering into Tuesday as well. Mid-50s for the middle of the next week. And then the first look at Halloween. First alert to what is looking like a pretty nice forecast at this point. Just a low chance for a shower. We'll keep an eye on that, keep you posted on that. But temperature-wise, high looks like it's around 60 degrees. That means around trick-or-treating would be in the 50s, falling into the upper 40s toward the end of trick-or-treat hours. That's pretty solid forecast for Halloween. So we'll keep you posted on that, of course, as we get closer and any updates that we have to that. I think with that, we'll wrap this up. Again, very nice afternoon. You get a chance to step outside and enjoy that sunshine, mid-60s and lighter wind. And then just make sure before you go to bed that you recover those plants before we see another frosty night take place. Coming up at the top of the hour, tune into First Alert 6. Senior Chief Meteorologist Rusty Lord will have the latest forecast. And of course, we'll have our updated news stories that you want to make sure that you also catch and get caught up on. So enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll leave you with this nice sunny picture from our Children's Nebraska camp.